Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most debated topics in the AI agent development space right now: MCP versus ADK. If you've been building with AI agents, or even just reading about them, you've probably come across both of these terms and wondered, what's the actual difference? Are they competing? Do they overlap? Which one should I actually use? Well, by the end of this video, you'll have crystal clear answers to all of those questions. We're going to break down what MCP is, what ADK is, how they each work, and most importantly, when to pick one over the other. Whether you're a developer just getting started with AI agents or a tech lead evaluating frameworks for your team, this video is for you. Let's get into it. Before we dive into MCP and ADK specifically, let's set the scene. We're in the middle of an AI agent revolution. And I don't say that lightly. Just a couple of years ago, AI was mostly about generating text or images. But now, AI can act. It can browse the web, write code, call API, manage files, essentially do things in the world. And that shift from AI that talks to AI that acts is what makes frameworks like MCP and ADK so critical. Look at this flow on screen. An AI agent has three core parts: the LLM brain that does the thinking, the orchestrator that manages the workflow, and the tools and services it can actually use. The question is, how does the agent connect to all those tools? How does it know what tools exist? How does it call them safely and reliably? That's exactly what MCP and ADK solve, but in very different ways. Let's find out how. All right, let's start with MCP, the Model Context Protocol. MCP was created by Anthropic, yes, the same company behind Claude, and released in November 2024. And the core idea is beautifully simple: create a universal standard that lets AI models connect to any tool or data source. Here's the best analogy I've heard. Think of MCP like USB-C for AI. Before USB-C, every device had its own port. Every tool needed a custom adapter. MCP does for AI what USB-C did for devices. One standard protocol, and suddenly everything can plug in. So instead of every AI company building their own custom integrations for every tool, GitHub, Slack, databases, APIs, MCP says, let's define a standard. If you build an MCP server for your tool, any AI model that speaks MCP can use it. And here's the key thing: MCP is an open standard. Anthropic didn't lock this up, they want everyone to adopt it. And it's working. Companies like Block, Apollo, and dozens of others already have MCP servers in production. That's MCP in a nutshell. Now let's see how it actually works under the hood. So how does MCP actually work? Let me walk you through the architecture. MCP has three main components, and once you understand these, everything clicks. First, the MCP host. This is the AI application, something like Claude Desktop, VS Code with Copilot, or Cursor. The host is where the user is actually working. Inside the host lives the MCP client. This is the piece of code that manages connections to MCP servers. Think of it as the bridge. Then you have MCP servers. These are lightweight services that expose specific tools or data. So you might have one MCP server for GitHub, another for your database, another for Slack. The communication between all these parts uses JSON RPC 2.0, a lightweight, well understood protocol that works over standard transports. Now, what can an MCP server actually expose? Three things: tools, functions the AI can call and execute, things like search the web or create a GitHub issue; resources, data the AI can read, files, database records, documentation, and prompts, reusable templates that encode best practices. The beauty here is that this architecture is decoupled. The AI doesn't need to know anything specific about your tools. It just speaks MCP, and the servers handle the rest. Now let's look at ADK, the Agent Development Kit. ADK was released by Google in April 2025, and it takes a very different approach from MCP. While MCP is a protocol, ADK is a framework. Think of it this way: MCP gives you the standard connection spec. It's like defining what kind of plug and socket to use. ADK gives you the entire construction kit: the scaffolding, the tools, the wiring, the deployment pipeline, everything. This is Google's answer to the question, how do we make it easy to build production grade AI agents? It's opinionated, meaning Google made choices about how agents should be structured, how they communicate, how they're deployed. That's not a bad thing. Opinionated frameworks are often faster to build with because you don't have to make every decision yourself. It's batteries included. It comes with built-in support for multi-agent orchestration, tool calling, evaluation, deployment to Google Cloud, and even MCP integration. And that last point is important. ADK actually supports MCP. They're not enemies. ADK can use MCP servers as tool sources, but we'll get to that in the comparison. First, let's see how ADK is structured under the hood. ADK uses a hierarchical multi-agent architecture, and this is where it gets really powerful. At the top, you have a root agent. This is the orchestrator, the brain that receives the user's request and decides how to handle it. Think of it like a project manager. Below the root agent, you can have multiple sub-agents. Each sub-agent specializes in a specific task. You might have a research agent that searches the web, a code agent that writes and executes code, and an executor agent that handles API calls. Each of those sub-agents then has access to tools. And here's the cool part. Those tools can be built-in ADK tools, custom functions you write, or they can be MCP servers. It has native MCP support. ADK also comes with a lot of built-in capabilities out of the box. Session management, state persistence, evaluation tools, streaming support, and deployment to Vertex AI on Google Cloud. So when you use ADK, you're not just defining how agents talk to tools, you're defining the entire agent system. The hierarchy, the workflow, the deployment. That's the fundamental difference from MCP. MCP is a protocol, a DK is a platform. Now let's put them head to head. Now let's put MCP and ADK side by side. This is the table you've been waiting for. First, type. MCP is an open protocol, a standard like HTTP or Bluetooth. ADK is a full framework. Think of it like Django or Spring Boot, but for AI agents. Creator-wise, MCP is from Anthropic, ADK is from Google. Both are open source. Language support. MCP is language agnostic. You can build MCP servers in Python, JavaScript, Go, whatever you want. ADK is Python first, though TypeScript support is growing. LLM support. MCP works with any LLM. ADK is technically model agnostic too, but it's clearly optimized for Google's Gemini models. Agent management. This is a big one. MCP doesn't manage agents at all. It's just the protocol for tool connections. You have to build your own orchestration layer. ADK has this built in. Multi-agent hierarchies, state management, all included. Deployment, MCP is bring your own infrastructure. ADK has native integration with Vertex AI on Google Cloud, and learning curve. MCP is relatively simple. It's a protocol with clear specs. ADK has more concepts to learn, but the payoff is a complete production system. Neither is better. They serve different needs. Let's dig deeper. Let's look at the architectural difference visually. On the left, MCP. The architecture is deliberately minimal. You have any AI application connecting through an MCP client to any tool or service. That's it. 3 layers. MCP doesn't care about your agent logic, your orchestration, or how you deploy things. It's purely the protocol layer between AI and tools. This is actually a strength because MCP is so minimal, it's incredibly flexible. Claude can use it, GPT can use it, any open source model can use it. It's the lingua franca. On the right, ADK. 3 layers again, but totally different. At the top is the ADK orchestrator, which manages the entire agent system. Below that is the agent hierarchy. Root agents, sub-agents, specialized agents. And at the bottom, tools, which can include MCP servers. See that? ADK wraps MCP. You can use MCP servers inside ADK. They are complementary, not competing. The key insight, MCP is a protocol that any framework can implement. A DK is a framework that happens to implement MCP. So if you're building something new on Google Cloud and want all the bells and whistles, ADK. If you want your tools to be accessible from any AI framework, MCP. Let's make this concrete with real world use cases. What are people actually building with MCP and ADK today? Top left, MCP for IDE tooling. This is probably MCP's biggest use case right now. Editors like VS Code, Cursor, and Windsurf use MCP to give their AI assistants access to your code, your terminal, your docs, your Git history. The editor speaks MCP. Your tools expose MCP servers, and suddenly your AI has full context. Top right, MCP for cross platform tools. If you're a company building a developer tool and you want every AI to be able to use it, build an MCP server. Slack has one, Linear has one, Notion has one. One server, every AI client benefits. Bottom left, ADK for enterprise agents. This is where ADK shines. You need a customer support system with a triage agent, a knowledge lookup agent, a ticket creation agent, and a follow up agent, all coordinating together. ADK's multi-agent orchestration handles this beautifully. Bottom right, ADK for Google Cloud Applications. If you're already in the Google ecosystem, ADK is a natural fit. Native integration with BigQuery, Vertex AI, Cloud Run, ADK makes it easy to build powerful data analysis or automation agents on top of Google infrastructure. Notice how these use cases barely overlap. That's because MCP and ADK are solving different problems. All right, decision time. How do you actually choose? Here's a simple framework I use. Start with one question. Do you need multi agent orchestration? Meaning, do you need multiple AI agents working together, passing tasks between them, managing complex workflows? If the answer is no, you're building something relatively focused, maybe a tool integration, an AI powered feature in your app, or a simple agent that uses a few tools. Go with MCP. It's simpler, more flexible, works with any LLM. If the answer is yes, you're building a complex pipeline with multiple specialized agents. You need state management. You're on Google Cloud. Go with ADK. It gives you all of that out of the box. But here's the thing, and this is the key insight I want you to take away. You can use both. The middle box here says or both. And this is actually what a lot of production systems are doing. Use ADK to orchestrate your agent system. Use MCP servers as the tool layer. ADK handles the complex multi-agent logic. MCP handles the tool connectivity in a standardized, interoperable way. They're not competitors, they're complements. MCP is the protocol, ADK is the framework that can use that protocol. So, what's my actual verdict? MCP. I believe MCP is going to become the HTTP of AI tools. Just like HTTP is the standard that lets any browser connect to any web server, MCP is on track to become the standard that lets any AI connect to any tool. It's already happening. The ecosystem is exploding. Thousands of MCP servers are being built. Major companies are adopting it. And because it's an open standard from Anthropic, not locked to any cloud or LLM, it's in everyone's interest to support it. ADK, on the other hand, is the production powerhouse for building agent systems. If you're a team shipping complex AI workflows on Google Cloud, ADK saves you months of engineering work. The orchestration, the evaluation tools, the deployment, it's all there. And importantly, ADK respects the ecosystem. It supports MCP. Google could have built their own closed tool protocol, but they didn't. They embraced MCP. So, my verdict, and I want this to land, is this: MCP is the protocol layer for the agentic web. ADK is an application layer that builds on top of it. They operate at different levels of the stack. Use MCP for your tools, use ADK for your agent orchestration. Use both together for maximum power. All right, let's wrap it up with three key takeaways that I want you to remember. Number one, MCP equals protocol. Think of it like USB-C for AI, universal, open, and interoperable. Any AI that speaks MCP can connect to any MCP compatible tool. This is becoming the foundation of the agentic web. Number two, ADK equals framework. This is Google's full construction kit for building agent systems. It handles orchestration, state, evaluation, and deployment. It's opinionated, batteries included, and production ready, especially if you're in the Google Cloud ecosystem. Number three, and this is the one I really want you to remember, use both. MCP handles the tool connectivity layer. ADK handles the orchestration layer. They're not competitors, they're complements. The best agent systems will use MCP for interoperable tools and ADK for powerful orchestration. That's a wrap. If this video helped you understand the difference between MCP and ADK, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more deep dives like this one.